We welcome you to the 213th Star Dedication on the Walk of Stars. This lady to my right is none other than the star of her own radio talk show on KPSI, Miss Joey English.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's nice to have you here. Beautiful day in Palm Springs. This is where you should spend the winter. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Palm Springs welcome to the guest of honor, Dr. Georgia.
In this season that is close to the holidays of Christmas and Hanukkah, we honor a man who has given so much of himself and of his skills as a surgeon. During the Yugoslavia-Bosnia conflict, Dr. Djordjevic returned to his motherland and volunteered his time and skills as a cosmetic surgeon from 1993 to 1995. We were just talking about today being Pearl Harbor Day and what it means to be an American, and you actually exemplified all of that in a different way. During that time, he performed 934 plastic and cosmetic surgeries on children and adults alike to give relief to the many horribly disfigured and scarred bodies and faces that were the result of war.
Dr. Djordjevic is also a very strong supporter of the Palm Springs youth charities, the Angel View Children's Foundation, the Children's Return to Smile Foundation. Those charities, as well as others, do good work because of Dr. Djordjevic and many other citizens in this community.
I have to tell you, Jack Sheen, Paul McKissick. Jack Sheen, Paul McKissick, it worked. You're going to hear a lot of wonderful things about this gentleman today, and we'll be calling on some of his friends and family, and you'll learn some intimate things that you don't ordinarily get to know if you know someone in a professional way.
Please welcome the chairman of the Palm Springs Celebrity Golf Classic, Mr. Tony Aguilar.
Good evening, folks. Thank you for being here. I'll add a couple of things about Dr. Borko, as I call him. He's been very supportive of the Palm Springs Celebrity Golf Tournament and our charities. And more specifically, he's donated every year for each of the two tournaments we have a total of $25,000 in surgery for each tournament, which we then auction off at our auction and raises money for our kids. And that's how I got to know him. The more that I found out about him, I know that he has letters from President Clinton, President Carter, for all the work he did during the peace negotiations in Bosnia. And the more I looked into his charitable work, we decided we want to honor this man with this star. Dr. Djordjevic is not only a good friend, he's a great humanitarian, but also, as most of you who are here as his patients know, he's a great surgeon. He has done some terrific work, and I'm not, and by the way, I'm not at all reluctant to tell you that I'm one of them. Okay? So, having said that, before we get into the formal part, which is to introduce him for a couple of comments, or actually one of his patients and friend of 25 years, we have another dedication following this one, and it's right up here. Right up the road here is for Elke Summer, who is my celebrity host for the tournament this year, which started today. We have a party after this event. Those of you who are here as guests of Dr. Borko, please know that you're invited as guests to that reception. It's at 6 o'clock at Osco's, food and drink and entertainment. And the tournament starts tomorrow. Not too late to get in. Not too late to get tickets for the black tie tomorrow night, okay? At this time, I'd like to introduce, if I may, Sharon Triguero, who has been a friend and a patient once, I think, for Dr. Georgievic, but she's really a nice lady. And let me ask her to come up and say a few words.
My name is Sharon Figueroa, and I am a friend of Borko's, and I'm also a patient. I'm so proud to be here to talk about my wonderful friend. I come from a family of doctors, very good doctors, but Borko is not like any doctor I have ever known. Borko is as brilliant, as talented, and as prepared and knowledgeable as the best of physicians, but he is much more. Most doctors are not involved with much more than, and I don't say this in a really negative way, with their profession, golf, tennis, parties, and etc., but not Borko. As much as he loves his practice here in the USA, there is a part of him that is still connected to his country of birth and other countries that are less fortunate and have a less fortunate way of life. Borko is a dreamer, and he has dreamed the American dream, not only for himself, but for his people in Eastern Europe. He has lived the American dream, and he appreciates this country for the opportunities that it has given him. Borko wants the medical education to be better in Yugoslavia, so he and doctors that he has recruited, they have written textbooks and they have sent them to the medical schools abroad. He teaches and helps young doctors to do better, to be more knowledgeable about new techniques in surgery, so that they might help deformed and injured children to have a chance at life. He knows what's happening around the world, and he cares when people are hurting and suffering. He wants to be wherever that is so he can help them. He worries about starvation and shelter. He sends clothes to Eastern Europe all the time. He sends medicine and vitamins all the time. He gets involved in the peace process all the time. And he's been part of Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter's peace team for quite a long time. I talked to a friend who was in Bosnia with Borko during the war in Bosnia. His car was blown up. He risked his life, but he was more upset that the car couldn't be salvaged. And his friend kept saying, Borko, we have to move on. And Borko said, can't we do something about the parts of this car as they were being bombed? He had trouble leaving that car, and anyone that knows Borko knows how much he loves cars. He's driven many thousands of miles for someone else is good, and he has been misunderstood and taken advantage of more than once. But he's an artist and a healer rolled into one. He's helped kids in this valley, one Alex, one Dylan. He's changed their life, little kids, and made them feel good about themselves. He's very funny, and he's a great storyteller. He's also very shy under his bravado personality. Borko is so knowledgeable that sometimes he's scary. He adores his patients forever and always, and they become sort of a family. As for myself and my family, we are family. We've been there for over 25 years, through kids growing up, through every kind of problem you can imagine. Borko, you're the most wonderful friend anybody could have, and I am so happy that your humanitarian side is being acknowledged by your community, as I have seen you in action for 25 years. We love you. Thank you.
Now the official part of this, I'm going to read from this. I usually try not to, but this is rather important. Dr. Georgievic is clearly acknowledged by Hollywood personalities as the cosmetic surgeon of the stars. He has performed cosmetic surgery on dozens of national and Hollywood personalities. Only a few have authorized their names to be associated and released for public consumption. Some are Ava Gabor, Magda Gabor, Jolie Gabor, whole family. Ruta Lee, Leo DeRocher, Jane Byrne, former mayor, I think, of Chicago, and many others. He co-produced and co-starred in a video entitled Hollywood Knives, in which several Hollywood personalities acclaimed his artistic talent and personal dedication to his work. Author of several published medical books, recipient of numerous certifications, medical and surgical appointments, Dr. Borko B. Georgievic has been honored as Citizen of the Year, Distinguished Citizen of the State of New Jersey. He's listed in Who's Who in California and received the Man of the Year recognition by the American Biological Institute. And tomorrow night is going to give me great pleasure to give him an award from the Greater Palm Springs Celebrity Golf Tournament as our Man of the Year at the Black Tie. I would like now to introduce the man of the hour, the day, Dr. Borko B. Djordjevic.
Dear friends, it is a great honor for me to be with you today and receive this prestigious star here in Palm Springs, the beautiful city I call home. I have truly lived the American dream, and it all began right here in Palm Springs. You, the citizens of the beautiful city who were my patients and became my friends, have made this great honor possible, and I thank you for it. My commitment to you is to continue to be an involved citizen and make the difference in lives of those who can benefit from my professional and charitable works. I wish to thank you, and I wish to thank the Chairman, Tony Aguilar, for his continued support on my behalf, and the Palm Springs Walk of Fame Committee for their honoring me with this prestigious award. I also want to thank and acknowledge my Professor Rakic, who came from Yugoslavia. May all of you have a healthy and happy holiday. Thank you.
All right.
It is our tradition, I think a real nice tradition, because I started it with the tournaments, that every celebrity that we sponsor for a star gets the official tournament jacket with the crest. And at this time, Doctor, I'd like to help you put this thing on. Okay, you look wonderful. And now, we go English.
This is the part where usually the mayor comes on, but he went home sick. And
I'd be happy to serve.
we deputized Joey English as Mayor Pro Tem. So go ahead, Joey.
This is the way to win an election, isn't it? It gives us great pleasure to give you this official proclamation for the city of Palm Springs. Whereas there shall be a special dedication ceremony on the sidewalk of the city of Palm Springs at 193 South Palm Canyon Drive on December 7th, 2001. And whereas in conjunction with this ceremony, the citizens of Palm Springs will pay tribute to a humanitarian whose contributions to our village help make the name of Palm Springs legendary throughout the world. And whereas Dr. Borko B. Djordjevic hails from Pirot, Yugoslavia, and was educated in Belgrade, where he studied medicine. And whereas immigrating to the United States, Dr. Djordjevic served his internship at the St. Barnabas Medical Center in Livingston, New Jersey, and specialized in general surgery at the Graduate Hospital, University of Pennsylvania.